Hey guys, this is TechWizX. On today's episode, we're going to discuss the PlayStation VR and the top games that you should be aware of, with a little help from my friends.
What's going on, guys? I'm Smash JT, and thank you so much to TechWizX for inviting me on to talk about some of the best PSVR games out there. I'm going to make this as quick as possible because I could talk forever about just this limited amount of games that I have for it, and I also have some digitally as well. The PSVR experience is insane. Like, it takes you away from reality in a way that video games have never done for me in the past. And a couple of them I wanted to highlight today. One of my favorite experiences is the London Heist, part of PlayStation VR Worlds. When you're in the car and you're actually able to move around and duck and shoot motorcycles, and the guy next to you in the car backs off so you don't hit him while you're shooting sideways out the window in this crazy race to the end of the stage. It's something that I've never experienced before, and there's no way a game outside of a PSVR would be able to present that kind of experience to the user without having this headset on. Another game I wanted to mention is Moss. This one is basically highest rated PSVR game for the longest time before Astrobot came out, which I still haven't played yet because I don't have enough time. But Moss is amazing. You play as a mouse with a sword, figuring out little puzzles as you run between these different levels, and it definitely transcends the typical action-adventure puzzle game that most people have experienced in the past as well. The PSVR, like I said, it's so different than any other type of tech that it's something that if you don't have it, you don't know what you're missing. But once you do put it on, man, there's nothing like being enveloped in the world. The game I really wanted to highlight, though, is probably my favorite game on the PSVR, and that is Job Simulator, made by Alchemy Labs. And this one is basically just sitting in a cubicle doing work, which doesn't really sound like much of a game when you take a step back and think about it, but when you're actually playing it and sitting there, all the different things you can do, the way the game just expands and seems to have an endless amount of items to move around and change and put on the copy machine and make duplicates of and throw at computers that are floating by you, and just seeing reactions of other people in the office. It's something that I've never experienced before and always have a blast with it. And side note, Alchemy Labs just came out with Vacation Simulator. They sent me a copy of that. I played it, and holy crap, I think I like it just as much as Job Simulator. That game, it basically takes the formula of Job Simulator and transports you to a vacation island instead of sitting in a cubicle, but you still have a ton of different things at your disposal to be able to enjoy the experience. Anyways, I could talk forever about the PSVR. Like I said, lots of games. Most of these are still sealed because I don't have enough time. I wish I did, but there are just so many games out there to play. I just need to find more time in the day. Thank you so much for having me on again, TechWiz. Appreciate you, and as always, you stay smashing.
Those are some really good games, especially Job Simulator. Up next is my good buddy, Woodman.
What's up, guys? It's Woodman here to talk a little bit about the PSVR from my friend TechWiz's video. Now, I don't have all the great games for that, but I have two that I am super hype about. Number one, it's going to be your favorite John Wick simulator, and yes, I am talking about Super Hot VR. This is a game that's almost like a murder puzzle? Yeah, I said that. Pretty much, time doesn't move unless you do, and you play from a first-person perspective with the goal of kill everyone in the room before you do. With these mechanics, it lets you do crazy stuff like grabbing shurikens out of the air and throwing them to the people there, catching their knives and stabbing the guy in front of you. Like, I'm talking John Wick stuff. There's probably a point that you kill someone with a pencil. That one, can't recommend it enough. The story's really cool, too. The second one that I'm super into, and even though I'm a stout Morrowind man, Skyrim VR. The amount of immersion that this game brings when you're looking through the eyes of your character, exploring these caves, fighting dragons, you really start to lose yourself a little bit. I actually recall one time that I was playing as a werewolf, and I took out a whole room full of people, and when I killed the last guy, I heard myself be like, "Ah!" Frank, chill. You are not a werewolf, alright? And if a game can make you that disconnected from reality and that immersed, it's doing something right. Those are the two games that I would recommend above all else for PSVR. There's tons of other great titles, but I'm sure TechWiz's buds are going to handle that real well. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of input on my favorite ones. Y'all have a great day.
One of my favorite games is Pixel Ripped 1989. Pixel Ripped 1989 is a multi-dimensional homage to the early days of gaming. The player embarks on a journey into the screen of a classic video game and beyond. Set in the era of portable 8-bit consoles, this game within a game follows the adventures of Dot, an in-game character who sees her world torn apart by the Cyber Lord, a villain able to break through the video game screen and invade the real world. In the game, the player inhabits Nicola, a second-grade student who must help Dot save both realities from this menace by facing challenges in the retro gaming 2D world, all while distracting the cranky teacher and escaping from the furious headmaster in her own 3D world. Up next is Muzz from L1 Games.
Hey gamers, what's up? Muzz here from L1 Games with a quick video for you to talk about one of my favorite PSVR titles. But before I do that, I want to thank TechWizX for inviting me to do this, and I want to thank all the other YouTubers who have put in their footage as well. I think this is going to be a really cool video. So, jumping right into the game, Trover Saves the Universe. There's a lot to be said for Trover Saves the Universe in terms of its story, gameplay, the way you interact with the game within the virtual world, in all of its positive. Right down to how your character, the Chairorpian, interacts with his surroundings. You, in VR, play as a character bound to a chair holding a controller. You actually interact with your environment in that way, but you also interact by controlling Trover, or Jopo, depending on which way you're playing, who with the controller, you make move around the environment, attack and fight enemies, pick up collectibles and all that stuff. So you're actually playing with both characters simultaneously as you try to achieve your goals. The story itself is utterly ridiculous. It's hilarious, well written. It's a great story to interact with in a way that kind of just takes you out of the reality of everyday gaming. A lot of games I take very seriously, but this one I don't have to. It's just fun to play. But at the same time, it's really good at what it does. It plays like a good game should play. And that's something you can't miss about this title. You can't just brush it off as a game that's not to be taken seriously because it's made by the guys who did Rick and Morty. What you're actually getting is a hardcore gaming experience that you will truly enjoy. You'll get a kick out of, you'll laugh, and at times you'll be forced to draw a line between morality and ethics in a way that'll make you laugh, which is something a lot of games can't make you do. Another thing I love about this game is that everything within the game is explained in the game. Why is your character bound to this chair? Why can you see a controller in the environment that you're using? Why are you controlling another character in the game? It's all explained as part of the story, so it really becomes very enveloping in that way, and in a way that other games can't. This is also a game that on a technical level really holds up to the standard of some of the hardcore titles like Astrobot Rescue and Moss. And at the same time, it's something completely and utterly different than any other VR experience you've had. And I really think that's what makes it one of the best VR titles I've played, hands down. So that's really all the time I have to talk about Trover Saves the Universe right now, but I really hope you do try it out. It's an outstanding title. And from here, I'm going to throw it to TechWizX.
Next up is my good friend. Whoa!
Hello, TechWizX. Your system was easier to hack than expected. You really thought you could get away with doing a PSVR collaboration without inviting me? Shut up. We are meant to be one. The time has come for you to hear what truly makes an excellent PSVR game. Stop moving!
Beep! This was your idea! Now we just look stupid. You said we was both going to wear these masks. Oh, let's begin, I guess. Sony still to this very day hasn't listened to the cries of the community and given us Move controllers with analog sticks. So when their first party developer listened to the fans' demands and announced that they was going to be releasing a full version of Robot Rescue from the Playroom VR, it certainly came as a shock to many. Maybe me a little bit more, considering how the news was sprung upon me. Not only did we get a full version of Robot Rescue, but Astrobot also improved on so many of its mechanics, and added some really cool new ones too. It blended solid 3D platforming with first person elements so well, and the result was both you and Astrobot really coming together and feeling like a team. Throughout the journey, the game just constantly adds fun obstacles and interactions your way. There really is never a dull moment, gameplay wise and visual wise. It really is a treat on the senses. Oh, blame for mask! Collectibles are sprinkled throughout the stages. You can even win more from a grabber machine, and you can even unlock some challenge stages that offer bite-sized chunks of the amazing gameplay in completely different locations. But the biggest reward you get in this game is being able to go up against some of the best boss battles in VR gaming. They're absolutely huge and have some very creative attack patterns. It's obvious that so much love and care went into making this game, and it's one of the very few that really is elevating a genre of game to new heights in a virtual space.
So there you have it. Astrobot is simply one of the best games currently out on the PSVR right now!
That was a pretty good voice beep. I'll be honest, I'm impressed. Run beep!
Oh, I never get invited to these collaborations.
Next up is my good friend T-Belly.
What's up, YouTube? It's me, your guy, T-Belly here with a brand new video, aka Rockstar Belly, in collaboration with TechWizX. We're going to talk about the PSVR, games I love for it. So I was a day one adopter of the PSVR for the PlayStation 4. It was an okay experience until I upgraded my PS4 to a PS4 Pro, which handles the VR much better than a standard PS4, like 2 times better, maybe more than that. So my greatest experience on the PSVR was playing Resident Evil 7 in VR mode. Now, although most games have a VR mode, which is more like a tech demo for that game, you get the full Resident Evil 7 experience in VR, the full game, not a side mission, the actual full game. You're in the shoes of the protagonist, and it's insane. Insane. If you ever played Resident Evil 7, just imagine being in the shoes of your character, being able to look around to your right, to your left. You're there while things are happening. When that big monster busts through the window, that one boss that looks like a alien type of bug type of monster, something like that. She's just scary looking and disgusting. That's in your face. Like, I jumped. I'm like this, like, oh my god, playing it, and it was just insane. Even the final boss, I won't spoil it in this small portion, but I will tell you, the final boss, I had to take off my VR. I just couldn't do it. It was too much. It was too much to handle. That thing was like right in my face. Crazy experience, but the key experience of PSVR to me was playing Resident Evil 7 in VR, in the whole VR mode. And I wish they can do more games like that. Maybe not so scary. So I definitely suggest getting a PSVR if you can. And definitely check out Resident Evil 7 if you have a PSVR. So let's send it back to the next person. Thanks for having me here.
Next up are the guys from OddPod.
Hey everybody, this is Dan from OddPod. Just want to thank TechWizX for asking me to talk about VR. Well,
okay, favorite VR game ever is Jackie Chan Stuntmaster VR. It's like a cross between Rumble in the Bronx and Police Story. It's so cool,
Murray.
And you fight crime, you do your kung fu stuff. Oh
Murray.
my god, it's so much action packed. You do all your stunts, you even have a vibrating suit thing on, you can feel the vibrations, all the hits you get. It's so good.
Murray!
What?
There's no such thing as Jackie Chan Stuntmaster VR.
Oh, well, would be pretty cool though.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Do you nerd? I know I nerd. Do they nerd? I don't know, do they?
Hey nerdlings!
What up, nerdlings?
If we like it,
we nerd it.
Including for PSVR, we have a lot of fun with this, and TechWizX wanted to know what one of our favorite games was.
And that was an easy choice for me because I absolutely love Werewolves Within. It is an online co-op game, only you cannot play this solo on the couch. You get to pick an avatar, whether it's male, female, old, or young. You sit around a campfire and you try to deceive your fellow townspeople whether or not you are the dreaded werewolf or not. The werewolf was randomly chosen, and so you never knew when you started the game if you were going to be the werewolf or if you were going to be a normal person. Now, whenever the game did start, you had in your view screen telling you what you were, what your little abilities were and everything, and then basically you just spent the game talking to people. And you would ask questions, you would try to ask them things that might pertain to being a werewolf. There is a role in the game is a normal person, but you have to pretend to be the werewolf.
Oh, very sneaky.
And see if, that's another way of winning the game. If the werewolf isn't found out by the end of the game, then the werewolf wins. And if you do find out who the werewolf is by the end of the game, then the villagers win. It's just really neat because it's a fun way to even just chat with people. I would have a lot of fun. Half the time we would just start chatting because you don't even have to start a game.
Now it sounds very much almost like a social experiment type of game because it's less game and more just talking to the people there and seeing if they give anything away, even if they're not necessarily trying to play the game, but if they just kind of slip up while chit-chatting with you. So is this a game that you would recommend someone that has
highly
VR?
recommend the game. Yes, I really do. It is a lot of fun. A negative about this game is it is 100% online. I think it should have like an internal, you just play against NPCs. And the other thing is if there's people not playing at the time, you don't get to play the game either. There were a few times that I would just sit waiting and waiting and waiting for players to show up.
Well, that's one of our favorite PSVR games. Thanks again, TechWizX, for including us in this. And let's see some more favorites.
Here's the main man himself, John Riggs.
How are you feeling? You got John Riggs here, and I have a lot of love for the PlayStation VR. I play it as often as I can. In fact, I play Beat Saber almost every night. It helps out with my arthritis. However, if I had to choose one game, my one game that I was like, man, if you got a PlayStation VR, you gotta check this game out. It's digital only, so physical collectors, there's a lot of them that may not have played it, but look for the game called Just in Time. It's called Just in Time. In this game, you play as an employee of the Just in Time insurance agency or whatever it is. What Just in Time is in the game is the people in the game have signed up for this insurance policy. And what the insurance policy entails is right before they die, you jump into action, everything's in slow-mo, and you save their life by any means necessary. Now, sometimes there might be somebody attacking them or shooting at them or whatever. Well, you can grab them in slow motion, maybe grab the knife out of their hand and do away with them instead. Or you can grab the bullets out of the air, aim them somewhere else, and shoot them somewhere else with your special gloves that you have in the game. It's a lot of fun. Every single level is something just a little bit different, so keeps you want to playing because you're just like, oh man, how do I get past this weird scenario? And there's a lot of weird scenarios in this game. The graphics, kind of blocky, kind of whatever, but never mind that. Just the immersionness of you jumping into action and using your creativity. And that's what the game's all about, is this creativity of how would you save this person's life while, taking care of whatever the issue is on each level. And when you do that, you complete it and you move on to the next stage. And you can kind of choose which stages based on, what level you're at. Maybe there might be 4 available or 8 available or something like that. And you can, if one's too hard, you can come back to it later. You can do a different one in the meantime. So you're not stuck until you play the next stage. You can just keep on bouncing around, or you can even go back and replay some of the previous stages too. I think it's pretty neat. But if I had to recommend any game Just in Time for the PlayStation VR, please check it out. It's awesome.
One of my all-time favorite games has to be the Wizards Enhanced Edition. The Wizards Enhanced Edition is a PlayStation VR game in which you step into the shoes of a spellcaster to defend the realm from hordes of monsters. In order to win, you will have to learn arcane gestures and master your casting, as well as increase the power of each spell as your potential grows. Use motion controls to destroy your enemies by weaving magic into lightning, fireballs, and other elementary spells. Chain combos and use different tactics against the hostile creatures. Make the game as challenging or as casual as you like with fate cards, and become the hero you've always wanted to be with powerful spells at your fingertips. I hope you enjoyed my PlayStation VR collab. I'd like to thank Smash JT, Woodman, Muzz from L1 Games, T-Belly, Dan and Murray from Odd Pod, Tom and Lacey from Do You Nerd, John Riggs. Oh, hi, Beep. Thanks for coming. And especially PSVR World. Don't forget to check out these great channels. You won't regret it. That's it for now. Until next time. Goodbye. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching.